again, everybody. Welcome back for another week of Sportsline. Once again this week, two very interesting guests. First up, we'll talk to softball sensation Robbie O'Brien. And the second portion of the show, we'll talk to the newly appointed coach of our Canada Games women's softball team, John Dawe. First up, Robbie O'Brien, welcome to Sportsline.
Thanks. Appreciate being here.
Robbie, it's been a real interesting season for you. But before we get into all that, I just want to kind of let our viewers know how you got started in softball and when. I think it was back out at the age of 11, back in 85.
Yeah, I started off at the Higher Levels Association. It was pretty good back then. Left at like the main league, start off at. Everyone went there, like John Slaney started there, and Teddy Russell, people like Trevor Bowen. So there were a few good names that started there. And so me and my brother, we decided to go to that organisation too. So it was a good place to start at.
Well, Freddie Jackson would certainly be proud of you, Robbie, having come up through the Higher Levels Association. Now, your dad, and I understand your brother Sean, had a big influence on your career.
Oh, yeah, well, Dad, like, out in the backyard, like, when I was young, he made a softball mound out there so I could pitch, and my brother Sean, he coughed me probably 90% of the season. And two of them had a big influence and everything. Sean, like, if I made a mistake, Sean would tell me, and if he made a mistake, I'd tell him. We're like the Davis brothers. That's what we're like. And well, Dad got a lot of confidence in me, and so did the rest of my family. So I appreciate like all the stuff they've done for me.
I'm sure you do, Robbie. And you even started playing junior softball while a bantam age player, and certainly showed you belong by winning or by coming sixth in the batting that season in the junior league as a bantam player. Let's talk about the 4 different leagues you played in this summer.
Well, the 4 different leagues I played in, I started off in the Civil Service League. That's Senior C, I believe, and that was a half-decent league. I started there last year, as a matter of fact, and like it helped me out my pitching, but this year I got like a bit more overpowering, and like I tried to strike out everybody, and I was starting to get in bad habits. So then I started playing Mercantile League, Senior B. That was really good. I was with the Canada Games team on that one, and that's where we learned everything this year. It was a well-organized league, and I also played junior. Well, me and my brother Sean played that, and that was a well-organized league too. And Labatt's senior team, they picked me up, and me and my brother Sean played in that one too. So we've been around this year.
Well, let's just go back to the junior league, because in one semi-final game in the junior league against CBS, you had a real marathoner. Tell us about it.
19 innings. That was I had 30 strikeouts that game, and I didn't think it was ever going to end. Every inning, I used to go out there and I'd say, well, we need 1 run now. And after the 7th, I had a no-hitter. I said, oh, it's going to be a good game now. And after the 14th, I still had a no-hitter. I said, we got to get one run now. And after the 15th inning, they finally got a hit off me. Well, I understood, like I said, they got to get hit sooner or later. I couldn't shut out a good team like that. And finally, in the 19th, we finally got a run and won the game.
At 15 innings of no-hit ball, that's quite a feat, Robbie. Yes. Now, of course, after the junior title, it was on to the provincial title. Tell us about that series.
It was a good series. Austin CBC, Conception Bay Central. They are a really strong team, good hitting, really fast too. We went out and we knew what we had to do, and we just did it. Like me and Donnie Powell, we pitched really well, and our bats came through. And we stole the bases just like they did, and we outplayed them.
You also won a gold medal with the Outer Cove team in the Newfoundland Midget Championships.
Yeah, that was a good tournament too. We had a real powerful team. We had like players like Harold Kelly and Craig Power and Greg Weber and Scott Gorman. We had a really strong team. I think we won every game, about a 10-run rule, I think, except for the championship game. We had to play CBC again. They're usually our rivals in the midget team. And we bet them 4-1 championship game. It was a pretty good tournament.
Last week, Robbie, I talked to Baz Whalen, who was a member of the Sportscraft team in the Mercantile League. And, of course, then for you were on that team, and it was the All-Newfoundland Senior B in Bishop Falls, and I understand that was quite a tournament.
That was a highlight this year, too, where I was picked up by that team to go out and play with them. And that team also had a lot of strong players, like Baz. He's quite a ball player, and felt Jamie Rose and Ross Adams. They got a really good pitching staff too with Calvin Burke and Gary Dunphy. And the whole tournament was just a thrill. Like, we went out and we, I think we lost one game in a round robin, and we had to be beaten twice in the championship game. Bishop Falls bet us the first game with Gary Dunphy pitched, and we came back in the second game. We bet him 1-0.
In a real thriller,
real barn burner that was.
Of course, then it was on. Of course, then in the Newfoundland Senior A Championship, of course, the B winner moved up to the A, and of course, again, you played in the Senior A Championship. How'd you fare in that one?
Well, I pitched the first game against Greensleeves, powerful hitting team. I pitched a one hitter, and we bet them, I think 3-0. And I pitched another one against the Bets. That went 11 innings, and I had a no hitter after 7. And they finally got a hit off me, and they bet us 2-0, I do believe. And against CEI Miller Lite, we lost 2-0 in the 8th inning. Jody Dwyer hit a home run off me.
Robbie, all championships are big ones, but national championships are something else. And of course, being a member and probably the star pitcher with our Canada Games team, you won the gold medal.
That was the biggest highlight so far this year. That was really, really, really good. We went out, and our coach Albert Dalton, like, he had a prep talk with us before every game, and like, we understood him, he understood us, and we went out and played the game, and we really did well out over there in Napanee, Ontario.
Of course, that gold medal game was, I think, was against
Ontario.
4-0 win.
No, we had to be beaten twice, and they bet us 4-1 in the first game. I started, and I got taken out in the second, and like, give me a bit of rest because we knew we had another game to play. And the next game we went 5 innings, bet them 9-0. That was the biggest highlight, I think.
Yeah. Of course, Robbie, you had to be pleased with your performance, being named MVP in round robin and playoffs, and also named to the All-Star team.
Yeah, that was quite good. Basically, just owed all my players. Without them, I wouldn't have done anything. Like, I'd struck out a few batters, and like, they just made all the good plays in the field and helped me out.
There's no two ways about it, Robbie. It was a real team effort.
Yeah.
Of course, after the national, of course, it was back, and then I think another team picked you up for the C championships in PEI.
Yeah, the Jungle Gyms police team. They picked me up, got away, played a senior C intermediate. I don't know if our nationals out there. And we came 4th overall. I was surprised. It was like really good competition out there. I thought it would be half good competition, but not overly good. There was really good competition, and we were surprised by the way we formed out there.
Robbie, of course, everything was not over then. The best was probably still yet to come. Yourself and 2 other players who you will tell us about were named to the National World Youth Team, which is, of course, is the big tournament coming up in New Zealand in February.
Myself and Greg Weber and Mike Tilley, 2 fellas playing on my Canada Games team, they were also picked, and they're really outstanding ball players. Like, Mike Tilley's an excellent lead-off batter and wicket first baseman, and Greg Weber has outstanding hands and shortstop and a good bat. So, like, we were glad we made the team, but I don't think there's any surprises. I think we had a real good chance of making the team.
Now, Robbie, you've already attended one camp for the World Youth team. Tell us about that camp.
That camp was really good. So I got to meet G. McWillie, who was the best pitcher in the world. He helped me out a lot. And Ron Clark, the head coach, he helped us out a lot on our batting, and like, it really, really helped us come back here, and we did really well when we came back.
Were there a lot of new things that you would pick up at a camp like that you say never had picked up here?
Yeah, there's a lot. Like, he worked on our fitness, like, a lot up there, right, and warm up for the game. And with G. McWillie, he showed me how to throw a few more pitches. And like, right now I'm trying to work on a screwball. Like, you can throw it in a baseball, and softball's pretty hard to throw. He can throw it, and he was showing me how to throw it, so now I'm home practicing. Okay,
now I understand that you joined the team in Vancouver just before the trip to New Zealand.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. The whole team meets in Vancouver for 2 days, and we all get to know each other again. And then we're off to New Zealand to practice for 2 weeks before the World Youth tournament. And then we play there for a week. And on the way back, we stop in Hawaii for 2 days vacation.
Have you seen the schedule yet for the tournament? How many games will you play there?
Well, we were up in Oshawa for the camp, and when Colin Abbott and Scott Mercer played, and they played, I think, 11 games round robin. And I think that's what we're going to be doing, the same thing. We haven't really found out yet. I think that's what we're going to be doing.
Now, prior to leaving for Vancouver to join the team to go to New Zealand, I understand also that now you have begun a training program at the recreation centre here in Torbay.
Yeah, myself and my brother are going to go down probably twice a week, and we're going to throw in the gym and go on the bike machines and probably do a rowing machine for our legs, leg strength. And that's going to really help me a lot. And by the time the New Zealand trip comes, I'll be pretty good.
So this is going to be one real big experience for you, Robbie.
Is it ever?
Now, just this summer also, saying that things were not over yet, just this summer, you yourself was named St. John's Molson Athlete of the Month for July and August, and that had to be pleasing for you also.
Yeah, that was really good excitement. It's just good for people our age getting noticed around town for our talent. And I'm sure there's a lot more people out there that are really going to get recognised in the future.
Robbie, besides softball, you also play a lot of hockey. What's in store for you this season?
Well, I'm going to be missing a lot of hockey now with this trip coming up. And we're started already, as a matter of fact. I'm playing high school with Gonzaga team. And we won our first game the other night, which Baz reffed. And I'm playing junior with the Junior Celtics, and our season starts really soon.
Okay, Robbie, we want to thank you for joining us here tonight on Sportsline. It's certainly been a pleasure talking to you and getting some insight as to the World Youth Tournament coming up in New Zealand in February. You certainly had a great summer. You had to be pleased with it, and good luck with your softball career in the future.
Thanks a lot, Ed. Thanks.
Robbie, thanks for joining us on the show once again.
Yeah, thanks.
Our first guest tonight on Sportsline has been softball sensation Robbie O'Brien. Up next, we'll talk to the newly appointed coach of our Canada Games women's softball team, John Dawe. Be back after this important message. Well, just recently, our next guest was named coach of our Canada Games ladies softball team. It's a big challenge for him going into the Canada Summer Games next year, and we'll ask him about that big challenge right now. John Dawe, welcome to Sportsline.
Thank you, Ted.
John, as I mentioned, just recently named team coach of the ladies Canada Games softball team. A big challenge for you.
It's a big challenge in a lot of ways. We're looking forward to it as a very positive challenge. The girls' skill level is great, and it's just one of those things that we feel we can do a good job at, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Well, following the resignation of Jim Coughlin just recently as coach of the ladies team, you were approached by Softball Newfoundland to take over as head coach. What was your first reaction?
It was pride in the fact that they thought I could do the job, and I felt I could do the job. And we had lunch and we discussed a few things, and everything seemed to be on the proper guidelines. And the announcement was made, and here we go. Let's see what we can do with this thing.
Well, John, you've certainly had a lot of experience at the provincial and national level. Tell us about some of those experiences.
Well, overall, we've won 2 provincial ladies championships, 2 provincial men's championships. I got a bronze medal in the nationals here, and I've played in numerous nationals.
Now, I understand you had to be a level 3 coach in order to coach at any Canada Games in softball. Right now, I understand you're at level 2.
Yeah, I'm fully certified level 2 right now with level 3 technical. Level 3 theory is in the spring, and the practical will be in the spring also. And the time, there's not a problem with time. We can get it in, no problem whatsoever.
So that will take place here in St. John's?
Yes, it does.
Well, John, it's still some months down the road before the Canada Games take place. I think it's July or August of next year. Have you had a look at the team yet?
Basically, I've seen the team play this past year in the St. John's Ladies League, and the skill level is fine. There's some positions that we got to work at, pitching being one of them. But overall, the skill level is as good as you're going to get around in Atlantic Canada, or pretty much in Canada, period.
Well, of course, John, pitching is a priority with any softball team. What is the pitching really like on this team?
The pitching on this team right now is not that good. I'll be the first to admit it. But there's enough expertise here in Newfoundland with Ross Crocker and the Debbie Powers and the Bill Davises and Ronnie Bolins that we can get these guys out and girls and work with the pitchers. And if the pitchers are willing to learn, we've got the expertise to make them a hell of a lot better pitcher than what they are.
Now, will the team be basically made up of players from the Avalon or all across the province?
Right now, we've got a list of approximately 17 from last year. They are from here to Cornerbrook, Clarenville, and Paradise. So there's a pretty good cross-section of the island.
Tell us some of the things now you will do to prepare the team for the games.
Well, upcoming on the weekend of the 17th and 18th of October, we have a camp, a little bit more than identification camp, where the pitching will be addressed big time. They'll all be put on individual programs and evaluated. We'll bring them back for the second week of February and go through the same routine again. Depending on their evaluations, that's where we'll go. The final team will be picked approximately the end of February. And then we'll decide on what course of action we'll go from there.
Now, will the team play in any league here in St. John's this summer?
Yeah, we are hoping that we'll be accepted into the St. John's Ladies League again this summer. We're also hoping to go on to Nova Scotia, Atlantic Canada kind of thing for a tournament kind of thing.
John, will this present a problem entering a team in the St. John's League here with, say, some of the players from outside of St. John's?
Well, basically what we're trying to do, or what we're hoping to do, is get everybody in town next summer for the sake of 3 or 4 months and work together as a team, cohesive, chemistry, that kind of thing. Because it's near impossible to have people all over the province and then come in and play as a team. It just can't be done.
What about the upcoming tournaments for the team now? Of course, it's always nice to play some of the tougher competition up along.
Well, we're hoping, with the experience we get in the local league, to take a tour of Nova Scotia, depending on what tournaments are available. But the big thing that the local people and the girls got to realise, we got to be ready for the second week of August, not the first week of June in the local league.
Now, besides yourself as head coach, tell us about some of the other coaching staff and their responsibilities.
Well, Colleen Connolly was the manager of the ball club last year. She's going to stay with the club last year. She comes highly recommended, does an excellent job. Fraser Russell from Clarenville was with the team last year, and I'll be seeing Fraser at the camp to find out his intentions. Ross Crocker is going to be with the club in a pitching capacity with the girls, pitchers, catchers. Joanne Mahoney, who is probably one of the finest infielders you're going to find around, is going to work with the infielders and technique and that kind of thing. So we're pretty much well-rounded as far as athletes and professionals go.
Well, now the fall season is up on us right now, and winter coming on. Besides this camp in October, what else do you foresee for the team, say, over the winter months?
Each girl after that camp will be put on a program depending on their position. Their program will be followed 3 times a week. Now, it's entirely up to the girls if they want to stay on this program. But if they come back and they're nowhere near the shape we expect them to be in, they can hardly expect to play in the summer games. So the commitment is going to be on these girls to work as pairs or individuals in their hometowns, in their backyards, whatever. We don't really care, but the program will be in place. They want to follow it and make the commitment, fine, we'll have a great show. If not, we will get people who will be committed to the program.
How many players, John, will be on the final roster, and how many do you have to pick from?
The final roster by Canada Game standards is 15. Right now we will have 24 at the camp. Right at this point in time, there's 21 identified at this point in time.
Tell us about the upcoming games now and where they'll take place.
The games themselves are in BC. They are in Kamloops, and we play in the second week of August, 93.
Okay, John, now, of course, with any team preparing for the Canada Games or anywhere, of course, there had to be people backing up the team, of course, namely sponsors. Tell us about the sponsors for the team.
Well, in this past year, the girls had a gentleman by the name of Terry Pike with Financial Focus, and one of the girls on the team, Pickett, I forget her first name, her dad looked after that, Fraser Pickett, and looked after the uniforms and all that kind of stuff. So we're looking forward to that again this year. Toyota Plaza is going to look after any transportation we need this year. So we've got different things. As things come up, we'll pick up a sponsor for Pepsi, this kind of scenario. So as we go, when we find out what we need, we'll pick up a sponsor for, basically. Okay.
John, tell us about your playing days in softball here in St. John's. You've been playing a lot of ball over the years. You're well known throughout the province for softball. Just take us through some of the years with your softball experience behind you.
Well, I started in early 60s, shall we say, in the first provincial junior tournament with fellows like Dave Hollett and Jack Adams in Placentia. Dominic O'Reilly was the dominant force then. And then from that we moved on up to the Interstreet days, wild and woolly Interstreet. And from that it was the commercial to the senior to the coaching ranks. So we've had some good times coming up. We met a hell of a lot of nice people, some great situations, and never regretted a minute of it.
If I were to ask you any one tournament that stands out in your mind after all those years, which one would it be?
There'd be two. The Nationals here in '79 when we won a bronze medal, and the Nationals here in '89 when I coached the team to a bronze medal with Kevin Beresford.
Of course, a lot of good ball players have come up through the softball organization in St. John's. Of course, you've played with them all. Just tell us about some of them.
Well, I'd guess Ross Crocker was probably the best overall ball player that's ever come along. Lynn Beresford was as good a hitter as ever come along. And as far as competitive nature, the boys from Placentia, Bill and Dick Davis, Jimmy Davis, you just don't get no more competitive than those guys.
If I won't say I'm going to put you on the spot, but if I were to ask you to name an all-star team from all the years you play, give us their positions and why.
Oh, my. Well, Ross Crocker and Ronnie Boland would be the pitchers, closely followed by Bill Davis. There's not a hell of a lot to choose from. The catcher, Dave Lively, was fairly good. First base, Dave French. Second base, I'll probably get a bit of flack for this one, but Fred Power, I always liked that second base. Ross Crocker, is when he wasn't pitching, played short. Randy Williams, Jimmy Davis at third. The outfield was Lynn Beresford, Wayne Smith. The list just goes on and on. Bill Davis. The list goes on and on and on.
Okay, John, we want to wish you good luck with, of course, coaching our Canada Games women's softball team next year, and I'm sure you're going to do a good job with them. And where would you say you like? Well, of course, everybody would like to win a gold medal. Is there any prediction for the team itself?
Well, I wouldn't go to say a prediction. I'd go so far as to say if the team goes up as physically and mentally prepared as they can and play as well as they can, we'll finish fine. But each one of those girls, when we have camp or practice, is going to be in a competitive situation. If one of them go around the base in 14 seconds, the next one's going to be expected to go around 13.5. And that's the way it's going to be the whole summer.
Okay, John, we want to thank you for joining us tonight on Sportsline and giving us some input as to the upcoming Canada Summer Games next year. We want to wish you good luck with the team.
I thank you very much.
And that's our Sportsline show for this week. Our guests this week have been Robbie O'Brien and John Dawe. That's it for this week. We'll see you right back here at Cable Atlantic, Cable 9 next week. Good night.
You're watching Cable 9, your community channel.